Welcome to the Uncle's Channel. Thanks for watching today. We're going to take a look at The Art of Lies of P, a book from Dark Horse Books here that goes through obviously all the art of the game here, as well as like some of the concept art and some of the ideas leading up to the final product here. And it's a really fascinating book. My wife got it for me and the cats as well for my Father's Day present. And if you are a cat owner out there or a dog owner or a pet owner, Father's Day is for you too. So enjoy that as well. But my cat's nickname is P, so Lies of P is a perfect fit for a Father's Day gift here. But we're going to take a look at the entire book here, go through it. And I know I've been on a bit of a Lies of P kick lately, but it's a great game. If you haven't tried it yet, it's definitely worth your time. Even if you don't like hard games, there are difficulty settings now. You'll enjoy the story and the overall lore. But let's go through all of the artwork for the Lies of P from this book here. All right, so the cover of the book here has the title up top, The Art of Lies of P, the P organ in the center, and then the chair where you swap your P organ out inside the game down below. And the overall aesthetic for the cover here matches up perfectly with the time period of the post-industrial revolution. And so excellent cover for the book. You flip it open here, you have a detailed drawing of the P organ itself, all the mechanical inner workings of it resembling the heart. Really cool looking there. Then you have the title of the book once again, The Art of Lies of P, and then a scenic overview of Krat itself, of Geppetto's puppet down below, your main protagonist here, and some of the inflicted overlooking from the archway. And so this scene right here is very reminiscent of Bloodborne, and obviously Bloodborne is a very much of an inspiration for this game as a whole, but it does go off in its own direction. It's part of the reason why I enjoy the game so much. It takes something I already love and then develops its own core story and lore from that. And then we have a overall drawing of the core characters. Once again, Geppetto's puppet, Sophia, Geppetto himself, Simon Manus down below, all the core characters in the game. And then table of contents over here. We're going to go through all the individual chapters and take a look at all the artwork that's developed. Before we get into that, we do have the forward here from the art director of the game. He sort of gives us a story of how the company came to him, said they wanted to make an updated version of story of Pinocchio and make it a Souls-like game, sort of a darker version of it. He goes through all of that there. I'm not going to read it all to you, but you're welcome to pause the video at any given time. This is captured in 4K quality, so you can zoom in and read it for yourself at any time, and that goes for any page in the book here. Of course, we have over here, we have the Geppetto's puppet once again before his awakening. And then let's continue. We have a Krat Central Station, obviously the starting area of the game itself. And we have the Geppetto's puppet over here. Perhaps that's a picture of Carlo himself. That's very lifelike looking. I'm not really sure. It's probably Geppetto's puppet, but it could be Carlo before he passed away. Then we have the concept art, or the early drawings for Geppetto's puppet. All different views of him here, his Legion arm, the sketch work for the Legion arm, as well as his P organ. You can see sort of exactly where they came from when developing him here. And you also have him over here at the side holding his P organ itself. And you have these hands reaching up from down below. And I don't remember that exact spot inside the game. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That looks more like a concept of where they're going for versus something that's actually directly referenced inside the game. There's probably some background lore on that. You have Jiminy here inside his little lantern. You can see the individual artwork. You have the cricket on the side. This was a really clever way of doing a Jiminy Cricket inside the game, and I really enjoy seeing the artwork there. You can see the breakdown of the different parts of the city of Krat itself, and you can just go and look and see how much work truly goes into making these games. It's not just simply using AI to find all the assets and whatnot to put them in here. All of this was individually designed by an artist here and just really developed in a very high quality manner. And that's one thing I like about games before all this AI came around. And I know it's going to speed up the process of making games and whatnot, but all of this is hand drawn or hand created here and then placed into the game. And there's just something about seeing all their development here, all their hard work and all their visionary versus simply having something created by AI. And so I don't know, I really do love seeing all of this here. And you can see individual pictures of the city of Krat that you would experience inside the game, as well as some of the early artwork over on the side. You can get over here to the Stargazer, exactly how it's activated. That sort of shows the different parts of it here, how it's going to come into play. And then you also have right here when you're getting ready to go into the festival grounds, and you can look right here, the exact storyboard artwork of how it's going to all go down here. And getting ready to attack or encounter the Parade Master, who's going to be the first boss inside the game. And you can see how the cutscene was meant to play out. Here's all the enemies and the characters inside of the Krat Central Station. And you can see the merchant over here. You have some of the puppets you're going to be fighting against, some of the dog designs. The first dogs you're going to go against because they do not have the saw blade up top yet. This is interesting right here, having his individual picture and then developed into the puppet itself. That's a unique take on that as far as like showing it. And of course, all the puppets off to the side. Once again, the individual art to go along with all of that before it got transferred over to the computer. We had the Parade Master, and you can see once again how he's developed based upon the original drawings here, developed a little bit more of the overall code, and then overall developed into the creature that we see inside the game. And I love how they actually have drawn out portraits or pictures here of the individual boss you're going to take on. So that means like all of this was drawn out, submitted to the overall development team, and then transferred over being part of the game. And so now we have Chapter 2, Hotel Krat. I love it here. We have the orange cat knocking little figurines off of the mantle or the desk here. And my cat that we nicknamed P is also a little orange cat. So this is like so fitting that P helped give me this book here. And yes, I do know that my cat did not donate money to my wife to buy the book. However, the cat's spirit was there, and I like to believe that Lalo had a large portion in the choosing of this book. Then we have Sophia over here. It's going to help you level up throughout the game, sort of like the fairy godmother inside the lore here. We can see the original concept art as far as what Sophia looked like early on in the game, and then the final drawings here. Now, perhaps Sophia in the original like had black hair. There's something to do with the ergo that changed her hair color to blue. I'm not sure about that. You can let me know in the comments down below. Another picture of Sophia off to the side. We have the phonograph where you can play your records throughout the game as well. You can see like everything in this game was designed from the ground up. All unique assets, very much of a hard work and art direction went into this, and not just simply, like I said, made generic and just simply put pieces in there to make the game complete. All of this is very much individualized into the game, and there was our blacksmith as well. And so this can be her story of how she was rescued in the game, I presume, and brought to Hotel Krat. Then we have Carlos, or not Carlos, here I go again, calling Geppetto's puppet Carlos. He's not Carlos yet, or I guess I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. But anyway, we have Geppetto's puppet here, his Legion arms, different types of Legion arms you can have, the puppet string over here, all the different ones. The one I enjoyed using the most was always the Aegis shield, and I'm sure it's coming up here, but you can see the animation of what it's going to do to individual enemies. Let's see here. Yes, there's my shield. I always thought it looked a little bit like the He-Man shield to a degree. That is, I don't want to call it a cheat code in the game, but man, it does help you against a lot of bosses. Putting that shield up and just sort of taking them out from behind the shield as you go. Antonia, you can see her younger self here. That's the picture that's inside of Hotel Krat itself. And you can see is one she's been inflicted inside the wheelchair. And what a sad, sad story that she had inside the game. And then we have the butler here, who's basically going to be the concierge of Hotel Krat. You can see his early animations as well as the individual station he's going to be staying at for the vast majority of the game. Then, of course, down below we have the P organ once again. And then we have the P organ system of all your different upgrades here. And this is interesting to take note. The quartz was a little bit different in the early designs here than the final designs. I'm not sure why they changed the quartz to look like that, but they certainly did change that as time went on inside the development cycle. Elysion Boulevard is our second major location inside the game. Get to see the future of the world, as they're calling it, because obviously this was supposed to be where the world was heading to, and then of course the ergo got out of control and caused the infliction, as well as Geppetto's part in that plan as well. And then we have all the core different buildings and whatnot, the designs inside of Elysion Boulevard. Then we have the puppets, of course, hanging there from the original trailers, Purge puppets. We have, once again, all different core designs that you would see throughout the city. All of this is designed from the ground up, and it fits the overall aesthetic of the Industrial Revolution. Absolutely fantastic here inside the buildings. I mean, like, they had to really go through the architecture of this time period and just, like, really study all of that to truly nail this on the head here. And they did just a fantastic job on that. We got Geppetto here. Now this is interesting. The early versions of Geppetto versus the final version of Geppetto. And this one here, pretty darn cool looking. This one here, pretty darn cool looking. That's our final one. Looks a little bit like Christoph Waltz from Django Unchained. I actually think I prefer either of these versions of Geppetto over our final one here. I don't know. I like sort of that wild hair, the fluffy hair versus the, I don't know. I'm not going to call it the emo look, but it's some degree. Emo Geppetto is what we end up getting. Even these designs are a little bit better than the final Geppetto that we got. Like, I really like, if I'm pointing out specifically, I know I'm going into a lot of details about this, I like his little mustache, how it goes up on the sides, goes up on the side, and we just have a regular old modern looking Geppetto down here. I don't know. That's the one I've seen the most difference in and the most disappointment in at the same time. And then we have Geppetto's office here, the P organ chair. You can see in the chalkboard in the background how he's going to remap the human nervous system to be part of a puppet. Really in-depth stuff there. I mean, he's basically like a mad scientist. I wonder if they're ever going to do anything with like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in the universe. That would fit in really darn well if it chose to go in that direction. They have the Mad Donkey here. And of course, you can see the early artwork of the individual human's head inside of the overall mask. The overall mask is truly horrific looking, but really cool to see that. We got the Geppetto's puppet taking down one of the puppets themselves. You can see him blasting all the little individual gears and parts out of his body. Some of the individual enemies. This one here, very similar to the overall design. He's got that little cogwheel on his back. Not really showing so much in that picture necessarily. These down here, you hit and they sort of blow up and cause that little electrical field around them. These are fairly close to the final designs, but these are the original artwork from that. Then we have the scrapped Watchman, and we can see some of the early scrapped designs. Anyway, you can see here, looks almost more like a gorilla in this aspect, very much of the overall shape here. But they did change it as time went on, I guess, to look more like an actual Watchman. But it does at the time look very much more akin to a primate. Then we have the butterflies that you destroy throughout the game. The city of Krat. I don't know if I really noticed the fish on the side. I wonder what that means. Is like originally a fisherman village? Krat was? I don't know. I mean, I know it borders the ocean because you have the alchemist on their little island out there. Then we have here some of the inflicted we're going to go against. That is very ominous. Is that supposed to be... I don't know. Very ominous there. And then we have over here... Oh, I know. This is their summons that you summon throughout the game. Very ominous because they're not really going to be named throughout the game. Do they ever describe like what the summons are that you can find throughout the game? I don't think they ever do. Then we have Chapter 4 of Venigni Works here. And you can see the factory where all of the puppets are going to be made here. There he is over there himself. An early painted version of him. You can see all the... Oh, there's the pipe that you have to pull the lever in, make it drop down inside the game. And you can see the entire factory here. You can see the Geppetto's puppet journeying through the factory itself. Once again, the overall artwork that's going to be put into the game itself, all different assets. And I like how they show the different assets and they show it like all sort of put together down here in one of the original paintings from the artist himself. I wonder if the artist has like an entire room of just simply Lies of P paintings that he's done for the game. This was always interesting to me here, like the pool of acid inside the overall factory as well. I'm not exactly sure how the acid came into the building of the puppets, but there it is nonetheless. And we have the ball of puppet arms. Did we fight a ball of puppet arms? I don't recall. Oh, that's where they push down like the stairway at you. That's right. Okay, I was about to say, I didn't remember that. Then we have the factory master himself, and you can see him over here, his different artwork styles. He changed a little bit, but nowhere near as much as Geppetto, I feel. I feel like he looks mostly the same throughout all of these. Oh, and then we have, of course, the black cat. We have the red fox. Survivor, I think. His name escapes me at the moment. And then we have a picture down here. What are they looking at? I don't know. Very intriguing. The Puppet of the Future and different designs for the Puppet of the Future. Obviously, this is the final design, but you can see the ones that were leading up to it. I feel like they probably went with the best one overall. I do apologize on the early cheese videos of Puppet of the Future. I'm always like, and you pull this lever here to make the acid go away at the bottom, and then I never show where the lever's at. So if you're watching this video and you saw that and were confused, I'll make the official apology now. Then we have some of the child or baby puppets who are going to be coming out and attacking you. Like, I read somewhere on like a forum or something, it's like, why are there child puppets inside this world? Because, I mean, like, it doesn't make sense. It's like a doll for a kid to have and whatnot, or like a companion. Because obviously puppets were, created for work and whatnot inside of this universe. But, I don't know, the child puppets were always sort of odd there. And you can see here some of the early designs. That guy right there was fairly annoying. There was one part in the game where it's like a long straightaway and you're like stuck on it and you can't get by it. And then he's just in there blocking all of it. And then of course we have the King's Flame, and they really changed the design a good bit from having an actual human head or sort of a resembling human head, even down to a possible little mustache down there, to really overall overhauling his design quite a bit. I do like that painting though. I'm telling you, like they could just simply like sell individual stills or prints of some of the paintings from this game, and they could do really well with that. Can you imagine like if they had done the entire game and they like just simply used like overall like painted art style? That'd be a really unique Souls-like game. Obviously, it would take a lot longer to create the game, but would be a really cool art style in there. And then we have Chapter 5, Saint Frangelico, if I'm saying that correctly, probably not, Cathedral here. And then you have the bishop himself, who's obviously undergone a transformation and is, I don't know if he's disgusted by his old image, but he's definitely wanting to erase it to some degree. And we're getting ready to journey into the cathedral itself. These birds right here remind me a little bit of playing Night Rain. I just got done playing a few rounds last night. It does remind me of that. Once again, I love the painted art style. Yes, the computer animation looks good, looks more realistic, but I love that painted art style. I really want to see a Souls-like game that's done in like a completely overall painted or like a watercolor painted art, or I guess oil painting as well. Whichever art style this is, I guess it's more oil painting. Probably rendered on the computer to look like that, but still, I like the overall painting style. You're journeying through the cathedral here. Oh, we have the last nun that's part of the cathedral. Still has belief in the archbishop here. It would be hard to believe that the person you followed has been corrupted like that. I know we didn't skip it, but we have to be coming up pretty soon on the archbishop himself. Then we have that fella. I don't remember his name. We do battle against him. I don't recall his name inside the game. Some more of the inflicted, and you can see here sort of the progress of the infliction, some of the cutscenes of how they're going to respond when you approach them and whatnot. You can see exactly how the girl is transformed over time. I mean, they said it sort of causes your body to turn into a rock-like scaling, and that, of course, demonstrates that rock-like scaling perfectly down there. Continuing on, we do have these very grotesque-looking creatures, the original art style for them as well. Same goes for this fella. They really changed his arm quite a bit. I take that back. They're just simply showing all the different ones inside the game. Yeah, I should have known that. That is my fault there. All right, now we have the fallen archbishop himself, Andreas. And so we can see here different designs for it. And it was always such a weird creature here to think that like there's two sides of him, and like the archbishop himself like comes out of it. Like how did the infliction like cause so much mutation on that one particular fellow there? Alidoro, sort of the tracker inside the game, and you can see him here. I always thought he was a cool looking character. He's gonna be your helper throughout the majority, helps you upgrade your weapons and whatnot. We have the Malum district, which is where we always went for our shopping center. We have the portrait of Carlos himself, that is Geppetto's son, that his puppet is based after. And what a depressing story to go along with his son. More of that is revealed inside the DLC, and I'm not going to give all that away once again, but I highly recommend playing the DLC. The lore of that and the story expansion is just fantastic. Then we have some old school medieval torture techniques. Were they still around in the Industrial Revolution, or were those sort of fading away by that point? I think they might have been fading away, but who knows. We have the golden tree here. This is weird. I never realized like how much it's based on like an actual human character. I wonder what the lore behind the golden tree itself is. Then we have the bear. I remember fighting that bear for the first time. And boy, that concept art of the bear is much more horrifying than the actual bear himself. We have, but the first time fighting against him, it took me quite a while. Look at the concept art for the dog, like these legs coming out. Now that, I like that. That's cool. They should have kept that inside the game, 100%. These look almost too similar to Bloodborne's dogs there. Once again, continue on with the grizzly bears and whatnot. We have some more of the overall creatures. That is a disgusting looking little head there. That looks very much like an orc from Lord of the Rings. This character here, don't recall him looking exactly like that. Black Rabbit Brotherhood. Those all look pretty similar to the final designs. I think those are the final designs here. Going against them the first time, throwables are your absolute best friend. Now we got some early concept design for them down here. They're a little bit different looking. Looks more like a Bebop. Got a little stomach exposed there. Bebop from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that is. Then we have, I'm going to butcher his name pronunciation again, Giangio. And they really did change his look quite a bit here. I don't know, I sort of like him with the hood a little bit more than the top hat. Looks a little bit more mysterious, which fits his overall character inside the game. The Rosa Isabella Street. Now that is a wicked looking picture going against the King of Puppets here. I like that quite a bit. Continuing on, of course, we're journeying into the Rosa Isabella mansions here and the streets themselves. You can see all the different assets they're using throughout the game. Little theater systems you can go and visit. Oh man, that's a beautiful, beautiful picture. That's going to be the orphanage itself, where you would have originated all your friends from. And the once again, some of the assets inside of the King of Puppets manor here. It's horrifying looking babies. The little fellas who choose to throw stuff at you. Now that is not inside the game. They changed this. They're always these. I don't think those are inside the game at all. The spider ladies definitely haven't changed too much inside the overall game. I don't remember any of the two-headed creatures. I could be wrong, but I don't remember any of the two-headed creatures inside there. The mad puppet or whatnot. The white lady or the white knight or the white lady singer, something like that. Really cool mask inside the game. These fella here, the Harley Quinn looking puppets that you're going to be fighting against. The King of Puppets, Romeo. The DLC, if you've not played it yet, expanded the lore on Romeo just absolutely perfectly. A heart-breaking story there. King of Puppets himself, one of the best scenes inside the game. Right here, this scene, they actually did a storyboard for it. It explains like the overall background plot of what's going on with Geppetto's puppet. Really appreciate they put that inside the game because it's almost like Romeo's trying to tell you this, to try to let you know, hey, this is not what you think it is. Offers his hand out here, you swipe it away, and then you, of course, have the fight. Adelina, this is going to be the last opera singer of the opera house, trapped in her room. Very depressing little story. The Grand Exhibition. Going through here, we can see some of the original puppet designs. This is like an early version of the Krat Zoo. Now that I'm looking at some of the overall aesthetics here. Wow, that changed quite a bit. Neither one of those creatures inside the game, they changed into these. That is quite a bit. Look, they got like prisoner shackles on them because they're doing experiments on them, trying to figure out exactly when the best part to administer the elixir, trying to basically perfect a higher version of humanity. Some of the early versions of the puppets here. This guy was always cool. I liked him a lot. Some more of the inflicted. Man, they are just bulbous here. They really did borrow quite a bit of the stuff from the Bloodborne DLC. Simon Manus, the early versions of him, very sketchy, literally and figuratively. We have some of the early inflicted as well. These were the earlier versions of superhumanity. That ended up looking a little bit like the Godskin Apostle from Elden Ring. Champion Victor. I never thought Champion Victor was too difficult. Looks a little bit like Bane. Some of the early artwork makes him look a little bit more, I don't know, brutish. The Barren Swamp. We're coming up on the puppet-eating monster here. The Barren Swamp. It's like the poison area in the game, basically. And you also have this area, which is going to be basically like, oh, good lord. I can't believe it escaped me. And Dark Souls. Down below. What is it called? Oh, my lord. You know the area in Dark Souls. I'll try to overdub it here because I'll come to me in just a second, but I can't place it at the moment. Getting ready to fight off against the puppet-eating monster. Continuing on down here. Man, growing out of one of the bodies. Oh yes, the owl. This is the mask I rocked through my second playthrough. I don't know, it's a pretty cool looking little owl. We have the rookie explorer Hugo, a nice little go-getter. The puppet of the future, once again, that'll be the second time. This fella here, like the actual version of what I consider like Pinocchio should look like in the game. That guy was really tough my first playthrough. I remember I first encountered him, I was like, you know what, not in the mood, ran past, came back and attacked him later. Green Monster of the Swamp. And you get to see both the mutated version and the original version here. And if you do the DLC, I'm going to spoil it for you, you get the primordial version of him. Oh, cool, we got the storyboard art right here. And you can see how he's like going through it. That's pretty reminiscent of how it worked inside the actual game. We got the cannons up top that were blasting away at you. The collapsed street is one of my earlier farming areas inside the game. Right here we have sort of the engineering of the spinal cords for some of these puppets. There's a really sad spinal cord scene in the DLC. I keep talking about the DLC because I'm here to tell you, the DLC is truly phenomenal. That guy there, there he is right there. Very weird look. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Obviously something to do with his brain's been enlarged. They did all kinds of human experiments trying to reach godhood inside this game. And you can see most of the experiments did not turn out well for people. I guess it's probably best to not experiment to try to achieve godhood. You know, I don't have a lot of advice I give on this channel, but experimentation to reach godhood, probably a dangerous path to go down. The corrupted parade master. Now the puppets themselves are beginning to be inflicted, and you can see, that looks like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. At one point, it just had like sort of a chomper there. That's interesting, a little bit of a change. Sort of developed in the DLC with the alligator and whatnot. Oh my gosh, if you don't destroy those, you're just asking to die early in the game. And then when Hotel Krat has been attacked here, you can see the graffiti throughout. The, destroying the paintings, hypocrite written as well. You can see where they're hiding out behind inside of Geppetto's workshop. Now we're going into like the ancient Krat here, trying to discover some of the ancient secrets of the Ergo. Getting ready to take our way over to the island of the alchemist here in a little bit. Revenge of the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. You can see how he came back because they basically revived him from inflicting him with the Ergo. The Arch Abbey. We're getting ready to take on Simon Manus here. I thought it was really cool how they're basically like using the old, relics and whatnot to sort of describe like, so the achievement or desire to go toward godhood has been around quite a bit inside this universe. This scene here where you're trying to actually go through the entrance off the beach here, you get to see like a little bit of your story, background story. That was a cool way of doing it. They could even do a prequel to the prequel DLC and focus on some of this like ancient stuff. Now that would be a interesting take, and you could be like going against like the natives trying to fight off some of these outer gods that are coming down. I think there's a lot of lore there that has not really been necessarily explored all that much. Then you have some more of the afflicted here as we go. Laxasia. You can see some of the early concept art for Laxasia, the full development there, the little back shield that you have to destroy, the full picture of animated Laxasia. Oh, you got the cutscenes or the storyboards. I really do I love storyboards. Very cool to see how they originally had it coming into play. You have Sophia here, of course, in her chair. You have the option to put her to peace and whatnot. Another very depressing scene inside the game. Even explored more right here. Man, King of Riddles. You know, they talk about making a movie out of some of the From Software games. They can make a movie out of this, and it would really go fantastic. King of Riddles, Arlecchino, obviously plays a part in the DLC, which I won't spoil, but it's cool to see like what became of him to a degree here as well. I heard there's different dialogue in the if you go visit him after you've done the DLC. And so you have some of the primitive statues here throughout the game, as well as one of the hands of gods coming down. You have the original artwork from Simon Manus here. Now this is fascinating, exactly what they decided to go through for Simon Manus. Now I really like this one here. That's pretty cool. You got very much of a, Igor look in the end of the game. I really didn't like the way Simon Manus looked. I know you're trying to see the mutated version of him and whatnot, and you want to see that hand of God come out and have like a different being off to the side. But I don't know. I would have preferred to have a little bit different design for him. Then the nameless puppet, and they really went through a few different designs here. He is very scrawny looking here. Now he's going to more of a toned, muscular look. And you can see the strings coming down, getting ready to command the nameless puppet to attack you. Then we have the appendix here. Very cool little drawing. This is obviously the intro to the game itself, showing the puppets going mad. We have all the individual characters. I like most of the designs of Geppetto's puppet, but I never liked that one. I know some people play the Souls game, they pick the goofiest looking outfit as possible. That is not me. I like to pick my character to look as cool as possible. Different amulets that you can get inside the game, different records, different keys, different collectibles that you can have. see all those in more detail. Now we're getting into some of the weapons here. The weapon designs. More of the weapons. I am a creature of habit. I find a good weapon, I stick with it. And then we have the artist down here at the back, and obviously there's an art director, but these are individual artists who helped out throughout the game. And then we have the special thanks down below. We have the Legion arm at the back, and this was what came on the back of the book itself, and just sort of goes through exactly what to expect inside of this book. I'll place it back here because I like to keep such things. And then on the back, we do have the who pulls the strings, and then goes through and sort of gives a summary of the book itself. Overall, guys, excellent book. If you enjoy the art style of Lies of P and you want to dive a little bit deeper into it, see some of the development, a little bit of background stories in there, this is the book for you. A great coffee table book, and I cannot wait to see what the studio does next with this overall franchise. Top tier in every single way, all the way down to the books. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above, and go out there, find a great game to play. Simply have a great rest of the day.